Hello, we are getting ready to start lesson 7 and the 7th day of this lesson, so 7.7. And today we're going to be doing problem solving with money, and I'm going to remind you on all of these problems you need to be using cubes and read, draw, and write. So on each one of these problems you need to make sure that you are using the protocol that we learned in Eureka Math, with remembering to circle the numbers, underline the question, box the keywords, X out extra information, set up and solve, which involves reading, drawing, and writing your answer. So we're going to start by reminding you that that's what you are going to be doing with Kendra, who gave 2 dimes, 2 nickels, and a quarter. And be very closely paying attention to the fact that we're talking about 2 $1 bills to her sister. So we have 2 dimes, and she gave these to her sister. 2 dimes, 2 nickels, 1 quarter, and 2 $1 bills. How much money did Kendra give her sister? Okay, just a reminder, because it's been a while since we've done some word problems. Okay, now Go Math asks you the question, what do you need to find? Well, we've underlined the question, how much money did Kendra give her sister? How much money did Kendra give her sister? This is just looking at what you underlined. What information do you need to use? Well, Kendra gave her sister 2 dimes, and you're going to have to write the rest. And then you're going to use this space to solve your problem. There are several ways you could solve the problem, and I'm going to let you choose your method, either drawing the money or adding the value of the money. I'm going to let you decide that for yourself. Okay, so then you're coming over to the next page, and you're going to notice that each one of these pages are word problems, and you are going to need to use cubes and read, draw, and write as you do each of these problems. You've got a nice big workspace here to be able to show your work, and I'm going to let you decide how you want to go about solving those. When we look at this together, I'm going to show you several ways, or at least 2 ways that I solve the problem. Be very aware that problem number 2 has 2 steps. It is a 2-step problem. This is not new to you, so you're going to need to show both of your steps as you come up with your final answer for this problem. So there are 2 steps. Moving over to the next page, again, I need you to remember that you're going to be using cubes and read, draw, and write. I do expect a word answer to each of these questions. And all the way down to problem number 5, which again, problem number 5 is a 2-step problem. Just a little heads up so that you know. Okay, then you're moving on to the page after that. And again, we have more word problems, which you are going to use cubes and read, draw, and write, making sure that you always give me a word answer. All right, and there you go. So you've got problem 6 and problem 7. And your exit ticket, remember you do this page last. You're going to do this page last and send it to your teacher. And you will need to use cubes and read, write, and draw for all of these as well. All right, and then before you do the exit page, you need to do this page. It looks like we have 2 problems that have to do with today's lesson, and then a spiral review of things that we have learned either in Eureka or other places. And just number 4 I want to look at. Celia collected 342 pennies for her class penny drive. Mark, I think that's supposed to just be Mark and not marked. Mark collected 343 pennies. You're going to use the less than, greater than, or equal to compare who collected more. So you're going to decide, is 342 less than 243 or greater than or equal to? And then you also need to point out which student collected more. Was it Celia or was it Mark? Okay, then you have a story about Brooke's dog, and you have a counting pattern. I'd like you to also say, I counted by. What did you count by? Did you count by ones, fives, tens, hundreds, thousands? What did you count by in this counting pattern? All right, and with that, I'm going to tell you that you're going to need to pause the video, work these pages, and then when you're done, you're going to unpause the video and we'll go over it together and see how you did. All right, get ready and pause the video. Okay, are you back? Here we go. So, let's see, we're going to get a little interruption. Sorry, a little interruption there. So, you should have finished filling out what information you needed to use: 2 dimes, 2 nickels, 1 quarter, and 2 $1 bills. Now, here are some possible ways that you could solve this problem. I actually did it 2 ways. The first way, I actually drew the money out: 2 $1 bills, a quarter, 2 dimes, and 2 nickels, and then I counted $1, $2, $2.25, $2.35, $2.45, $2.50, $2.55, which gave me my $2.55. Make sure that you're using the dollar sign and your decimal to separate the 2 whole dollars away from the pennies. And when you are doing the counting and you have something that's over $1, you should always use the decimal point to separate the fact that you are counting by money, and then you can put the dollar sign in second. So that's one way you could have solved that problem. I also did it by just adding the values: 100 plus 100 plus 25 plus 10 plus 10 plus 5 plus 5. This would have been the Eureka way. 100 plus 100 was 200. Adding another 25 in there gave me 225. Then I did 10 plus 10 is 20, and 5 plus 5 is 10. When I added 20 and 10 together, I got 30, and then I had to add 125 to I added a 30 and 125 together to get 255, which then I had to make sure that I put my decimal in the correct place: $2.55. And as I said when I was talking about this earlier in the video, you can choose how you want to solve those problems on your own at this point. So then we have our next problem on the next page. The value was $223. And again, I did this problem 2 different ways. I had 2 $1 bills, I had 2 dimes, and I had 3 pennies. You can count it the way we've been counting before, or you could also do it the Eureka way, where you're just adding the values together. 100 plus 100 is 200. 10 plus 10 is 20. If I add 220 together, I get 220, and I'm adding 3 and 220 to get 223, which is a value of $2.23 using the dollar sign. Okay, now we have Amber. This was a 2-step problem. She had 2 quarters, a nickel, 3 $3 $1 bills to buy a toy. The toy cost $1.05, and they want to know how much money did she have left. So I have split this into 2 steps, all right? So first I figured out how much money she had to begin with, and I drew my 3 $1 bills, my 25 cents twice, and a nickel. $1, $2, $3. Notice that I'm using my decimal point because I'm counting money. $1, $2, $3, $3.25, $3.50, $3.55. Now $3.55 is the answer to step 1. I'm going to need that answer to step 1 so that I can now do step 2. I redrew the money, and I crossed out what the cost of the toy was. So I crossed out $1 and I crossed out 5 cents, and then I added what was left over. $1 going up 1 to $2, up a quarter to $2.25, up another quarter to $2.50. Therefore, my answer to the whole problem was $2.50. Or you could have used the same method that we used when we were doing Eureka Math. And I'm just adding the values. 100 plus 100 plus 100 was 300. 25 plus 25 was 50, plus another 5 was 55, adding those 2 together to get $3.55, which is the same answer that I had when I did it the other way. Step 2, I actually used subtraction, what we learned in Eureka Math, and regrouping or decomposing tens. 5 ones or 5 cents, take away 5 cents was, oops, I didn't do a very good job of that. Let me try that again. That wasn't so good. So 5 cents take away 5 cents is 0 cents. I need to keep my place values together. 5 dimes take away 0 dimes is still 5 dimes. And $3 take away $1 is $2. My decimal comes straight down and I add my dollar sign. Sorry about that. I was not careful about my place value on that. So whether you chose to do it this way or another way, when you get finished, your final answer should be $2.50. Okay, let's take a look at our next page. So again, we have a page full of word problems, and there are several ways that you could have done those. Problem number 3 was $1.88. I'm going to go through these rather quickly. You could have either chose to have drawn the money, or you could have added the values up. With Derek with 2 $1 bills, 2 quarters, and 6 dimes, how much money does he have? This was a one-step problem, and you should have said that he has $3.10. Whether you did it drawing the money or you used the Eureka way, either way would get you there. Okay, so I do want to look at this 2-step problem with Katie and her 3 quarters, 2 nickels, 2 dimes, and 3 pennies. How many more pennies does she need to get up to $1.10? So I drew the 3 quarters. I drew the 2 dimes, which, by the way, these were not in value order. I drew the 2 nickels and the 3 pennies, and then I counted. 25 up 25 put me at 50, up another 25 put me at 75. Up 10 put me at 85, up 10 more, 95. Up 5 put me at $1, going up 5 more, $1.05, $1.06, $1.07, $1.08, and I needed to get up to $1.10. So what I actually did is I thought to myself, what would I have to add to $1.08 to get to $1.10? And I could see that I needed 2 more pennies. So I just did a missing add-in there. Okay, let's take a look at our next page, if we could please. Here we go. So again, this was a 2-step problem. We had Victor, who had 75 cents, saved 75 cents on Monday, and then $1.25 on Tuesday, and then he spends $1 to rent a movie. I had to draw and label how much money Victor had left. Well, I did this one taking the value of the 75 cents that he made on Monday and the $1.25 that he made. Oops, I need to put my dollar sign in there. The $1.25 that he saved on Tuesday. That was the first step of my problem. And I decided to just add those. So 5 cents plus 5 cents was 10 cents. So I had to regroup a 10, just like we did in Eureka. I'm regrouping 10. 7 dimes plus 2 dimes gives me 9 dimes, plus 1 more dime gives me $1, and I had to compose a 10. $1 plus $0 plus $1 gave me $2. So I know for step 1, my first answer had to be $2, and if you drew it out, that's fine. Step 2, I was going to subtract $2, take away the 1 that he spends, leaves me with $1. So your final answer for step 2 should be he had $1 left. Victor has $1 left. And there's several ways you could have done that, but there you go. Okay, and on number 7, hopefully you read the problem. It was a one-step problem, and when you got finished, you should have said 135. For me, I didn't want to draw all the money. Well, I actually did draw all the money, but then I used the Eureka way, with 3 quarters having a value of 75, 4 dimes having a value of 40, 3 nickels having a value of 15, and 5 pennies having a value of 5. When I added 75 and, let's see, what did I do here? I did 15 plus 5 was 20, and then I did 40 and 20 was 60, and then I added 70 and 60 together, 75 and 60 together, and got $1.35. So I didn't write my word answer. Ross used $1.35 to buy a card. Okay, $1.35 to buy a card. Alrighty. The next page, of course, is your exit ticket. You should be doing that last, and I won't be showing you the answer to those because you have to send that to your teacher. So Lee has 2 $1 bills and 4 dimes. I drew the picture, did the counting, and got $1.40. Dawn has 2 quarters, a nickel, and a $1 bill. How much money does she have? I drew the money, did the counting, and got $1.55. What is the value of the underlined digit? I hope you said it was a value of 6 ones. Celia collected 342 pennies for her class drive, and Mark, not marked, collected 243 pennies. I had to use greater than, less than, or equal to compare those numbers. So Celia had 342. Mark, not marked, had 243. The only place I was concerned was the hundreds. 3 hundreds is greater than 2 hundreds, therefore Selena collected more money. 15 take away 8 is 7, basic facts, and our skipping pattern, 225, 325, 425, 525, 625, and you were skip counting by hundreds. All right, I hope that you did well on that. You should give yourself a nice big smiley face if you did. If you're still struggling with your money, you might need to spend some extra time practicing. And in the meantime, I'm going to invite you to have a great day of learning.